up all over the place, telling people, giving people the impression that's what Jesus looks like. Most churchgoers know that we really don't know what he looks like. But they've adopted this picture of this long, blonde, brown-haired Jesus. And who this is this New Age Sananda. It's this New Age. It isn't Jesus at all. Sananda's not coming as a look-alike of the real Yahushua, of the real Jesus Christ. They've just been hanging Sananda's picture all these years. So a lot of deception's coming, and they're going to be really good. The Lord said they'd be good, and they're going to be good. They are good. If you talk about this stuff to half the people in the churches today, they think you're crazy. And so, yeah, the deceptions are going to be good, and they're hitting all of these networks, these religious networks. Another thing I wanted to get into and forewarn people of, I received an email about somebody who wanted me to expose certain people on the doctrines they teach, and I'm really not going after certain people per se. I would rather expose doctrines than people. And so if you're forewarned about doctrines, what are right and what are wrong, then you can see the people teaching them to stay away from them. Now, the Lord very rarely has me stand up and attack anybody by name. And if he does, it's I stand up, say what I have to, sit back down. That's the end of it. I don't dwell on it.
Sherry?
Yeah?
Your guest is up whenever you're ready.
Okay, well, yeah, I'll have him on after the break. I'm going to take a break here in a minute. But what I want to do before I go on break here is just forewarn people of the Matthew 24 scripture that says that they will say, Jesus is in the desert, Jesus is in the wilderness, he's here, he's there, and Jesus forewarns us, Yahushua forewarns us not to go. He says, don't go. And so when you have all these people standing up, they're collecting groups saying that they're collecting the bride together, they're gathering the bride for the raptures, don't go, folks, don't go. The Lord does not collect his people. He will collect his bride. He will collect his bride. In the meantime, his bride's all over the world and scattered, and that's the way it's going to remain until he collects them. So no, he is not collecting all of his people in groups to meet or to gather in deserts or wildernesses or even anywhere, even in a church or anywhere. He is not collecting his people. So a lot of people coming out with those kinds of teachings that they're forming all prophet groups or all watchman groups or whatever, or bride groups, collect the bride. Don't fall for it. Don't even listen to it. The Lord has his people scattered in highways and byways for a reason. And so I'll get into more of that next week. We're going to take a break. I'm going to take a 2 and 3 minute break. And when I come back, Larry Lawson's up. He's my guest tonight. And we're going to talk more about what's going on with the Bushite camp and Bohemian Grove and all that and New World Order. And so we'll be back in about 2 to 3 minutes, folks. We'll see you then.
This is the Reality Radio Network on Telstar 5 Transponder 5 and on the internet at realityradionetwork.com.
Liberty for their descendants. Thanks to
back, everybody. With me is Larry Lawson. Hello, Larry.
Hello, Sherry.
How you doing tonight?
Well, I've got my clock set right now.
A few problems last week, folks. Mainly Larry's memory.
Well, I blame the Hoosier politicians here. They've never got the setting of the times right here in Indiana, so we're always confused as to...
That state's always a mess.
Yes.
I mean, even for a time, Ohio and Indiana are on the same time for a while there, and then it switches all back again to craziness. I couldn't live on that time schedule over there.
You had mentioned earlier, I was listening to you a little bit about the incidents there in Chicago that have been reported by various people.
Yeah, I sent you that. Did you see that? I forwarded it to you. I finally found one of them that I referred to.
There's a lot of smokescreen and disinformation out there. It's very difficult to know what is what.
That is something about the M16 that had been captured in Chicago. That came out of the New Age camp originally.
Well, what I was going to say is we've also got others out there who are putting out information that people need to be aware of, basically beware of, because you and I know them to be disinformers in the COINTELPRO camp.
Yeah, and because we've been personal targets for years.
Right, and it's important to kind of separate this because these lies and liars are propping each other up, and I really want to set the stage so people can see just how many of them out there that there are.
And there's very many. I mean, we've been friends for, maybe 2 or 3 years? I don't remember. 2, 3, 4 years?
And it's interesting being friends with somebody on the Internet. It's amazing how much stuff you can stir up and how much, how much you can influence over 2 little wires.
And we've seen so many people come up as patriots and then just unravel before your eyes themselves to reveal themselves who they are and what they are and who they're working for.
And a lot of the way you can tell is who they align with.
Yeah, their alignments, their friends.
It's very interesting. I'm sitting here looking at a link here on Infowars.net where apparently Alex Jones interviewed Tom Flacco on Friday, August 12th. By the way, if you guys might want to get a pencil handy, because I might spew out a few websites you might want to check out, but my email address, if you have questions on any of this, is hitech1, HITECH1 at bluemarble.net. And Sherry can tell you I've never asked for a dime for anything I've done. Just to give you some background, I'm just a homegrown Hoosier here who, like other people on the Internet, have been forwarding what I think are important news stories around the Internet. Gradually over time, I've come to pick up who the liars are and who aren't, and we're still finding new ones every day.
And you run a news list. Why don't you tell everybody how they can join your news list?
Well, same thing. Just send me an email to hitech1, HITECH, the number 1, at bluemarble.net. You can... or
they can contact me, and I'll forward the info on.
Or you can go to yahoo.com, and the newsletters that I send out are sent to several Yahoo groups. One of them is called WorldCom, WRLDCOM. LL News has the older newsletters. There's LL News 2 and LL News 5. One of them got deleted, but all of them are there at WorldCom, including some of the audio links that I hope to play here this evening, because these people have condemned themselves in their own words and with what they've done. I started doing this about 2000, and like I said, any story that looked good, that looked important, looked like it was being covered up with the media, I, like others, would start forwarding. And then come 2002, one particular individual that you and I know so well, by the name of Stu Webb, he'd been forwarding sensationalist-type material, and we thought he was one of the good little patriots, and someone named Dennis Slatton had said that he wasn't. So I would forward material, pro or con, let people make up their own minds.